You ever notice the constant pressure to be interesting all the time? I feel like nowadays we're all pressured to be interesting, as if you're not doing some crazy adventure that's Instagram worthy, you're not living your life to your fullest potential or something like that.
Okay, so this is already interesting to me because she's describing a feeling that I think almost everyone watching this has had. But I want to ask, who told us that Instagram worthy equals living fully? Like, when did that become the measuring stick? Because I don't think social media invented the idea. I think we are the one who brought that insecurity to the app. The app just make it louder, more visible, but we are the one actually responsible for that.
Even at uni, why are you forcing me to share an interesting fact about my life?
Okay, I have to talk about this because I'm actually quite guilty for that because I remember like a few months ago we have a welcoming week where I was appointed to host an event of asking juniors to talk about their hobbies, like introduce themselves, right? And they would say like I love to sleep, and I would judge them like, oh no, that can't be your hobby. Come on, give me something like more interesting. Yeah, I was judging that it's not interesting enough. It shouldn't be a hobby, but thinking back, I think it's not really good because, like, I mean, your hobby can be something that is not interesting. It doesn't matter, right? As long as you like it, right? It's kind of funny to be honest.
You don't have to be interesting all the time. Sometimes living a normal, quiet life can be calming. You don't always have to have the crazy stories to tell before you meet a group of friends. You don't always have to worry whether this story was worthy of sharing or not. We really underestimate the quiet days. Being calm and having a peace of mind is also such a flex.
I want to stop here because I think this is the most honest thing she says in the whole video. Peace of mind is flex, and she's right. But I want to push on why that even needs to be said. Because our grandparents, they obviously didn't need to defend a quiet Tuesday. A calm ordinary day was just called life. The fact that we now have to remind ourselves that peace of mind has value, that tells us something went wrong somewhere. Not just with social media, with how we decided to measure a life.
You don't need to always be interesting to be considered cool. But I often feel that we're pressured. I do think social media has a big part in this, in how we think. We weren't supposed to be accessed this type of information, but somehow we're at this point where we are looking at every single highlight of another individual's life and subconsciously comparing ourselves.
Okay, she's blaming social media here. And yes, I agree. Obviously, social media accelerates this. But I think the honest version of this argument goes one step further. She says we weren't supposed to be access this type of information, but we chose to access it. Every time you open the app and could scroll for an hour, right? That was a choice. Nobody pulling a gun at your head and said, "You have to do it." No, you are the one who keeps yourself, doing that. You're the one who forced yourself to do that, right? And I'm not saying that to be harsh because I do it too, okay? But I think there is something important about admitting that we're not just passive victims of an algorithm. We keep going back. And the question worth asking is, why? What are we looking for every time we open it?
I fall victim into this. I'm pretty sure a lot of others do too. But this is a gentle reminder. We should not keep on constantly comparing ourselves with people online who curate an image, a perfect image, for an audience.
So, gentle reminder, and I want to be honest here because I don't say this to attack her. She made a really relatable video and her heart is clearly in the right place. I love it. But I think gentle reminder culture is actually part of the problem. We keep gently reminding ourselves of things we already know. Don't compare yourself, your quiet days matter. You are enough, all of these things. We know that they are true, but we open the app again 5 minutes later, a reminder doesn't change behavior. Actually deciding for yourself, not for the comments, what a good life actually looks like to you. Because that changes behavior. And that's the harder conversation that I think we keep avoiding by posting gentle reminders instead. We should stop giving gentle reminders. We should pause and really dig deep enough to find out what do we actually want. Sit down on your bed and have this 15 minutes of quiet time. Just ask yourself, what do I actually want? I think that will be more beneficial.
This is a gentle reminder for myself as well that I do not need to pressure myself to always be interesting. My quiet and calm days are just as valuable. Just a gentle reminder.
So, yeah, everything she said is true. Your quiet days are valuable. The pressure is real. Social media does distort how we see our own lives. Totally agree with that. But I think the reason we keep needing gentle reminders is because we haven't answered harder questions underneath all of this. Which is, what are you living for? Are you living for the person watching your stories? Are you living for the person watching your reels, your story, your TikTok dance? Or are you living for yourself? Because if the answer is yourself, you don't need a reminder that your quiet days matter. You already know. You're just not convinced yet. And no TikTok fixes that. No Instagram story, no motivational video, YouTube fixes that. You have to actually decide. Anyway, that's one thing. Where do you land on this? Is the gentle reminder enough, or are we avoiding something harder? Story below, and we'll see you tomorrow.